But before we go to this, we want you to understand what we call geopolitics. Geopolitics in the United States stems from the period of 1823 with the presidency of James Monroe. In 1823, James Monroe coined what we call the Monroe Doctrine. The Monroe Doctrine simply says America now is a superpower, and the Americas, all those countries in Latin America, the whole continent, is America's backyard. They were warning Europeans and other powers to stop, not to interfere, not to even adventure in the Western Hemisphere. The Western Hemisphere became America's sphere of influence. So they started enforcing this superpower rule, because that's the way superpower play operates. This is my area. I don't need, this is my turf. Even in the drug business, those who have heard about drug trade, a drug lord will say, this is my territory. Anybody who comes to this territory to sell drugs, I'll take him out. That's the same way superpowers behave. So it's like the law of the jungle. When you look at what happened to Nicolas Maduro, you ask yourself, where is international law? International law means nothing. International law is like a toilet paper. This is not the first time. You saw the American adventure during the time of George W. Bush. They went to Iraq, right? You saw what happened to Noriega, right, in Panama. So America has been doing this SAC ops so many times, and they capture people and bring them to America. So it's not the first time. So Maduro is sitting in a cell in New York lamenting. He could not believe that just a few hours ago he was the president. In less than 24 hours, they've taken him down. His life has changed. The life of his wife too has changed. So the whole idea is the Monroe Doctrine. You might not have heard it before, but we want you to know that this Monroe Doctrine drives the U.S. foreign policy. That's the key. So you may think that, oh, Donald Trump is a more combative president, but he's just following this Monroe Doctrine. America first, American interests, national interests of the United States. That's the priority. This is what we need to learn. This is what a superpower does. Russia does the same thing. Even though the Soviet Union has collapsed, but Vladimir Putin, still plays that whole tape. He says the collapse of the Soviet Union was the greatest catastrophe of the 21st century. So he wants to revive the Soviet Empire. And he's kicking, doing everything possible to exert the Russian influence far and wide. You see what is happening in Ukraine. That's really what is happening, because the Soviet era is gone, but Russia wants to maintain the hegemony of Russians in that part of the world. So Ukraine now is like challenging them. They don't want America to come to their backyard and play any games. So that's why Putin has lost so many soldiers, because he wants to protect the status of Russia as a superpower.